Okay, so let's talk about the dynamic between the two of you. You started composing and writing together 20 years ago.
Yes.
Okay. So how would you describe your working style and your relationship?
Well, you know, every writing team is different, but ours goes like this. I wait for his pages, let's say it's, you know, a song. We won't deal with the script yet, but I will get a few pages of a whole song written out in the first draft. Verse, chorus, bridge, chorus. I will take it and read it for sometimes an afternoon or sometimes a few days, just depending on what's going on in life and if I'm feeling inspired. But at first I have to get the rhythm into my head of what is just the actual rhythmic structure of the song. Is it a waltz? Is it a march? Is it whatever? What is the feel? And then once I start making little dots and slashes where the stresses are, you know, where the downbeats of things are, just notes all over the page, and he looks at it and, you know, it looks like a complete mess to him. But it makes a lot of sense to me. And then I start maybe writing in some chords. And then at some point, I don't know how to describe it, at some point is when I feel ready to actually sit down at the piano and place my hands on the keyboard and things start happening and you're in that zone. But then after I get my first draft done, I go to the computer and I put it in my notation program, print it all up nice and neat. I invite him over to present it for the first time, and that's always a very scary moment for both of us. I think mainly for me, because I think, well, what if he doesn't like how I set his lyrics? And we go through all kinds of disclaimers. And then we finally get to, well, just play it.
Just play it.
And yeah.
And then there's usually a big hunk of my lyrics gone somewhere where we'll be going along, then my lyrics just gone because he has some question about, never content usually, but it's about, I don't have enough syllables, I have too many syllables, I have the wrong stress on syllables, and so then I have to go back to the drawing board for those. But that's really, that day is kind of, we call it tweaking day. It's the only time when we work together. Our process is very separate. I write alone, he writes alone, and then we get together and kind of polish it up a little bit. But I like tweaking day because it is a day that we work together, and very often our process is so, most of the time, separate. And that's why it's nice too when we're in production like this, because we get to spend so much time together, which is really not our process at all. We're very separate. So it's not what people think. And I know other composing teams work differently. Some work right at the piano together.
All the time.
We could not do that if we tried. Why? Because I'm too bossy and I would be trying to tell him what to write and it would be horrible because I can't write music, but I'd be thinking it would all sound like that. And then we just couldn't do it together. The few times, remember that one time we tried to write something and you were like, it just doesn't, it's not our, it doesn't work for us.
Can you play a little bit of a song from the show? Just even a few bars of it? Maybe one of your favorites?
Sure.
Do you have a favorite?
I think either the prologue or it's the choice.
It's not the prologue.
It's the choice. Goodbye to Z.
Play something peppy.
Goodbye to Z.
So it doesn't sound all sad.
Goodbye to Z.
I don't want to sing at all.
You have to sing it and set it up.
Well, this is when Z goes. This is when reading the book, there was something that said our Goodbye to Z party, and I'm like, that's a song, Goodbye to Z, which it remains in the show from that very first day when we read. I said, Goodbye to Z is a song, and it was. And so, here it is.
So yeah, they're celebrating Goodbye to Z. Here we go. Yep. Goodbye to Z, adios, farewell. In just 3 hours, we totally expel this funny little letter. No more Z. No more sizzle, or sneeze, or fizzle, or freeze. It's fare thee well to twizzle and tweeze. No more gazing at the zebras in the zoo. It's the end of frozen pizza too. Instead of a zeppelin, we'll now see a blimp float freely up in the skies. We won't muzzle our poodles, each schnitzel with noodles, and it's now a crime to harmonize, harmonize. Goodbye to Z, adios, farewell. In just 2 hours, with relish we repel this funny little letter. No more Z. That's not the whole song.
It's
I love it. I love it.
Now, things like that were fun to write, because they had all the letters, and it was Z heavy, so it was just like every word that starts with a Z is in that song, which was fun. That was fun.